So when we're working with people, David, one of the key things that seems to really bother them is that when they're starting an employer branding project, they don't know what to do first. Could you give some top tips on that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be quite intimidating when you start out on a project, knowing what the first thing you should do should be.
Yeah,
I always
definitely.
advise that, getting your story straight is the most important thing you can do. Finding out what's unique about working for your organisation and then telling that story well. And there's a number of great information sources that you can kind of pull together to find that story. The first is your engagement survey. Deep dive into your company engagement survey. Understand what were the things that people really liked about working for you. That's a really good starting point to give you a feel for what works and what doesn't.
Yes, and the brilliant thing about an engagement survey is, tick tick, it's been already paid for. You've got the information there. It's ready to dig into. So why not get some more value out of it? Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a good start using engagement surveys.
But what's next?
So they're brilliant and they give you good data, engagement surveys, but it can be a little bit shallow. They give you kind of yes, no answers, and 56% of people are happy working here type stuff. What you really want to do then is get the personality of the organisation coming out. And the way to do this is through interviews. It's through focus groups and interviews with employees. And you need to speak to people from all the way across your business, basically, to make sure you've got full representation. But talk to them about what you found in the engagement survey and ask them, well, why did you think people said that? And what do you feel? And what brings you to work each and every day? Really good way of kind of putting some colour and depth behind what you found out.
Yeah, definitely. And, I guess, just the fact that you're asking open questions there is really the most important thing, because if somebody's being asked to fill in, a little questionnaire or some multiple choice answers, it's not giving them the opportunity to really say how they think, how they feel, how they think. But that gives them the chance to do that. And then even if you might get to hear some information that you'd really prefer, it wasn't the case, you know what, it gives you something to act on and to improve the employee experience, and ultimately it'll of course then have the knock-on effect, helping to attract talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So anybody else perhaps that you want to involve from the organisation, or anything else that you need to do at that early stage?
Yeah, I think it's really important to speak to kind of senior leadership and executives at this stage. You've spoken to the business, you found out what the people feel about working in the business now, but you also want to understand where the business is going, and also how senior executives want to see the business projected in the future and what they want it to be. So you end up with these three really great information sources. You've got your engagement survey, you've got your focus group data, and you've got your executive interview data. And what you can start to do is kind of triangulate this information, pull it together and say, what am I hearing across all three groups? Because if I'm hearing it in these three different areas, that must mean, well, that's it, isn't it? That's the stuff that makes us unique and different, and everybody's saying it. So we can rely on that and trust that. So these three different data points, three different ways of gathering information are a really great starting point for any employer branding project.
Oh, well, that's really good to know, and definitely, gives people something concrete to work on. And certainly, we'd love to know for other videos in the future if you've got any other topics that you'd love for us to tackle on your behalf. And of course, in that way, if you leave a comment, choose to like or share the video, that'd be absolutely amazing. So thanks, everyone.